So when I got out of the car, I already have my gun out, but I don't point it at him, but I am holding it. Get out, and I look at the field, and I look at him. If I did this, there must be a good reason. That's all I give him.
There better be a good reason. Someone's going to have to pay for this. You know how much effort it takes to grow a field of wheat?
It won't matter if you're dead. Someone's trying to kill you. Farmer
Arlo.
Yeah, I went to go check on him, and we found a number of pictures with the red X's drawn on them, including your wife and the sheriff, who we just found out was murdered. Yours was the other one. You're not dead yet. That's why we're here.
I gave him the description of the picture of Arlo.
Yeah, but it was just some grain. Why would he kill my wife over some grain?
It wasn't over the grain, Mr. Daniels.
Well, then what was it?
He's just a monster.
It's gotta be a reason.
Well, you'd have
You
to
just
be a
don't know
monster to do something like that.
Meanwhile, I'm making my way through the wheat field to the back of the house.
And I'm standing near the car.
Yeah.
I slowly make my way over
Okay.
to join the conversation.
He looks at you and he's surprised, and he doesn't say anything.
He's as much a victim in this as you are. I don't actually address either of them directly with that statement.
I'm glad I didn't pull the trigger.
Holy hell.
Actually, when I approach, once I'm standing there and I see that he's calm and everything, and I would tell him, I'm sorry about your wife.
Sorry about your kid. I'm sorry for what I said. I didn't mean it.
Everybody can heal now.
Yep.
I grab for my flask and take another long draw of whiskey.
Megan, that was a noise you heard behind you, like a snarl.
Oh, good. Turn around and aim up.
You see a giant 6'8" wolf-looking man on two legs running right for you.
Open fire.
Okay, I'm gonna make some rolls here.
Now full auto might be a good idea.
So Megan, you take some pretty well-trained shots and clip the werewolf a couple times in the shoulder, and he runs right up to you and backhands you so hard that you fly into the house wall and hit the back of your head on the thing. But you're a tough girl. You can you can handle a little punishment. Gerald, Joe, and Eric, you hear gunfire.
Okay.
Megan, I'm gonna actually make a hunting roll for you. +7. Yeah, if you can just put enough bullets in this thing, you should be fine. What do the rest of you guys do?
Run.
Make my way.
Through the house through the back door.
Megan, this thing is fast, way faster than your brother's.
Well, yeah.
And hairier, but only by a bit.
Only a little.
You get ready to bring your gun up, and you take a few shots, and it swats the pistol right to the side so that your shots miss. And it takes its hand and puts its claw right through your shoulder, right here.
Ow.
It pins your shoulder briefly to the house, and then pulls the claw back out. You take another hit. You guys make it to the back door, and you see Megan pretty much lifted up off the ground with a claw through her shoulder, and then it pulls out and she drops back down. She's still on her feet. She's in a fighting position.
All right. What I want to do is, there's a clear line of sight. I want to run up, draw my pen, and stab it in the eye.
Okay.
I'm also charging right up on it. Gerald's mad. Now that he's seen a werewolf, he is just pissed, and he's charging right at it with his gun drawn, but he's not firing. He's going to run up until he can put the muzzle in its muzzle and fire.
I draw my pistol. I draw the pistol, and as soon as I get a clear shot, I'm gonna take it.
Everybody's making a lot of noise. Werewolves have enhanced senses, so the courses of action that you all have taken are not a surprise to this creature who is one of the supreme predators of the world, with the exception of Joe. Because Joe is not making any noise, and he's just trying to take a shot through the house. Megan is able to do one of these spring off the werewolf, do kind of a wall hop over him, and roll to get some distance between her and the werewolf. You come through, and you bust right through that back door, and get ready to put this silver pen right where it belongs, right in his eye, right into his brain. And he swaps his arm out and clocks you across the jaw so hard you think your head's gonna fall off.
For 17, did I roll a 1?
You roll the 1.
Incredible.
Incredible.
You take 2 hits, and yeah, it is embarrassing. Now, Joe, the werewolf did not see you. It did not expect you. You were not part of the group combat. You are now. But you take 3 quick shots with the gun and clip the werewolf. It howls, and it holds its hand up to its side, and it starts shaking its head to the side.
Did I have any success?
You didn't hurt yourself, and you didn't hurt it.
Oh, shitty.
The only people right now who can kill it are Eric. Megan has a silver letter opener
In the bag.
but she's convinced that bullets will get the job done.
I'm booking it to the car.
What about Farmer Fuckstick?
Fuck him, he's running.
Oh, motherfucker.
Where is he? How far is he away from me?
Outside of the house, running to the field.
Where's his shotgun?
He left it on the porch.
I grab it.
Eric?
Well, I was carrying the shotgun as well as the pin, so I pick up my shotgun and I blast him at the werewolf.
Gerald?
I'm angry, but I don't have a weapon to use here. No, I'm looking for a pitchfork or other farming equipment.
You can find a pitchfork.
Pitchfork's fine. I'm going for the pitchfork. I want to start immobilizing this thing so somebody can hit it with the silver. So I'm going to go melee.
Gerald, good news and bad news. The bad news is this thing grabs you by the ankle, barely, right when you're starting to try and run by. And he lifts you up. And he stabs you right through the knee, and he's going right for your throat when his hand gets blown wide open by a shotgun blast from Eric. So it's kind of like you got stabbed with a fork all the way through your knee.
That could be worse.
You're able to limp your way over the pitchfork.
Good.
Megan, you make it to the car. The doors are locked. Now, you can get inside if you fiddle with it for a minute, or you can break the window
Swear to
and get your
God,
stuff
if you
now.
break my window.
You hear glass shattering, Gerald.
And that hurts you more than your knee.
It's already mad. Now I'm even more mad. Now I have to figure out who I'm going to stab with this pitchfork.
Megan, you're able to get the, what do you get, the silver letter opener or the grenade?
Why not both? I want a flashbang, I want an explosive, and I want the letter opener.
Okay, you can have those things. You can throw the
For a
grenade from
price.
where you're at.
Don't throw the kid where you're at. Don't you fucking dare.
Don't you dare. If you kill us, you're never role-playing with us ever again. And all of your characters in my game die retroactively. Point blank, everyone at Blast Radius, only Gerald Conway is hurt.
You heroically put yourself on top of the grenade because you tripped trying to get away from it.
Well, I want to keep walking towards the werewolf, and I want to black in.
Yeah, I want to take another shot at it as well.
I'm going to channel Old Man Rage with my pitchfork and, like, make a lunging attack at it. I want a rage bonus.
I will give you a reach bonus for a pitchfork.
I also want a rage bonus because it's a werewolf and they are my enemies. I hate them.
I'm gonna roll the flashbang in, and
No.
then cover my eyes and ears.
No, that's just as bad. We're all here. It's an open space.
Megan, you're not really part of this melee combat right now. Your flashbang is not particularly effective.
Or well placed.
Or well placed, exactly. Joe, this thing is mad, and it's trying to get away from this crazy pitchfork-wielding madman and the other dude who shot him. So he runs through the house, and on his way through, he slashes you right across the chest, trying to make his way out the front door.
I want to stab it while it's running away.
I want to go around the house.
You'll be able to be there at the beginning of the next action.
He's running away and I can still have the reach. I'm just going for the legs. I'm trying to pin him,
Joe?
keep him from getting too far.
I mean, I got a shotgun, so this is a point-blank range.
You can definitely take a point-blank range shotgun shot.
I do so.
Eric?
Yeah, I'm going to try to stab him in his neck.
Eric, natural 20. And the werewolf rolls also a natural 20. I don't believe it.
Aw,
Joe, you're a lot closer to this guy. And you take a shot, and it's not that you miss. You blow a good chunk out of his side. You see a bunch of fur go flying. He doesn't seem to care. And what he does is you're not even hurt by the thing's claws. It actually takes you and spins you around in a way where you briefly lose your entire center of gravity, and you get stabbed right in the back with a silver pen from a magnificent attack from Eric. You think you feel your lung hurt. Megan, this thing's getting ready to bust out the front door. Joe, Eric pulls the pen out almost as soon as he stabs you, so, I mean, you're still able to act. Gerald, you can still keep up with combat if you want to get into the house.
If we end up near the kitchen, I still have my eyes open for silver. Serving dish, silverware, anything.
Inside the kitchen, you do see, it's pretty much like a shadow box,
Mm-hmm.
where you've got a plate, you see a fork, a knife, and a spoon, and they all appear to be of heirloom quality. And you see some tarnish on the silverware that says that even if it's not solid silver, it's at least silver plated, and that's good enough.
Yoink.
So that's your action. Megan?
As soon as it comes out that front door,
Mm-hmm.
I sight up on it and fire.
Joe?
I take another shot at it.
Eric?
Take a shot as well.
And the werewolf, currently operating at 18. I don't fucking believe it. It was a natural 20.
Holy shit.
What, this thing is dropping 20s like it's hot, man. Megan, you got him.
Totally got him.
How did
You
you
didn't get
miss? This was one of the most acrobatic feats that you've ever seen. The werewolf is attempting to disengage. He does put some distance between you and the group. He outrolls you too many more times, he's gonna get away.
If he outrolls us and runs away, he's going to get hit by a car.
Or a car and a grenade.
Why not both?
I'm going to run out the front door with my silverware, and if it's getting away, I'm going to whip the butter knife at it. I'm keeping the fork for melee. Spoon is a backup option.
Megan,
Fire away.
Joe,
Fire.
Eric.
Bro, fire.
Yeah, you shoot him straight in the back with a shotgun, and it stumbles over and rolls and gets up a little bit slower than it was before. And it turns and it snarls and takes a moment to try and decide what's going to do next.
I want to run up on him and stab him in his face hole.
Okay, Megan,
Still taking those shots.
Joe.
Man, give me that spoon.
All right.
Okay.
You might want to stab him with the holdy end, not the spoon end.
Gerald, Eric, and Megan all connect. Megan shoots it dead center. It stumbles back. And then Gerald, Eric, and Joe all run up on it. And Gerald stabs it in the left side. Eric stabs it in the right side. Joe comes up from above and gets slashed on the face. And then the werewolf crumbles over and expires.
I'm gonna stab it in the face
Oh,
dozens more times just to be safe.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm forking the shit out of this thing.
I spoon it.
You're spooning it, I'm forking it.
The farmer is nowhere to be found for quite a while. Do you look for him or do you just...
No.
No.
But he knows who home is.
He saw the werewolf.
Okay.
That's all that matters. Like, I don't think he cares about his field so much if he comes back and finds a dead body.
I want to separate the werewolf's head from the rest of it.
Now, does it revert back to a human form?
It does.
It's okay.
What does he look like?
Yeah, he looks like Farmer Arlo from the picture that the sheriff had.
Man, it's gonna be suspicious when the cops, get a new sheriff and then figure out how this went down. His house has been broken into. He's laying here with his head disconnected.
No, he's gonna disappear.
No.
Farmer Arlo went on a rash of killings, went deep into the woods, never to be seen again.
So what do we do now?
Get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah, we disappear.
Yep, and get ready to do it all over again.
Hey,
Or the
so
very-
I can ride back to get my bike.
You broke my window.
I'll fix it.
You better.
With what?
Yeah, like really, like you're gonna pay to fix it.
Yeah, sure.
You know how hard it's gonna be to get a window for this car?
I'm sure we can find one.
Not in this town.
Well, no, because we're getting the fuck out of Dodge.
Tape a garbage bag over the broken window.
You can find a garbage bag and tape.
Yep, tape up the window. And like he's standing here like, what do we do? Disappear. I'm already fixing my car, getting ready to leave. He's handling and dismembering a body.
Gathering up all my weapons, putting them back in there.
Body gets put into a bunch of bags, put in the trunk.
Joe, who the fuck are these people?
Before we go, I want to follow the werewolf's tracks to try to hunt down our stuff.
To the best of your ability,
Mm-hmm.
you're not able to find any link between the werewolf and your stuff.
That sword was very important to me, so somebody's gonna have to pay for that. We didn't search all of Arlo's house, but we don't think he got there before us. I'm not leaving town without that sword.
I know you guys are looking for your stuff, but I gotta go. I have to be able to bury my son. I mean, and the sheriff's body is lying in the office there, and I was up to a few hours ago behind bars. You guys ain't any way of getting me out of this?
Well, we're blaming it all on Arlo, so you will be exonerated eventually.
We could put you back in the cell, and then you'd have an alibi for everything that went down.
Yep.
And then once you're released, you would be free to go about your business. I know it's not going to be that easy to get back to life, and trust me, I do know what it feels like to lose a child to these monsters. You'll have to do the best you can.
I'm gonna need a ride back to the pokey.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like anyone stumbled upon it. It is a small town, and
No, it's late, that's why.
if anyone says if you saw anything, say you saw a man briefly, and give a vague description of the man we just killed.
The sheriff would have recognized who the man was, so you can say that he mentioned a man by the name of Arlo.
Arlo, something like that. Yeah, just keep it vague.
Will do. Before I go inside the cell, I extend my hand to all that we never really formally met, I guess. And shake his hand. Whoever takes my hands.
Gerald
first.
Conway.
Eric Kent.
And
Carter.
You used your real name?
Why would you do that?
You never use your real name.
Joshua Daniels. I need to contact you guys, and how I go about doing that.
Here, you can reach us there if you come across anything. Usually, once your eyes are open to this sort of thing, you run into it a lot more often. If you want to have any chance at a normal life, I would say. If you see anything, just give us a call and try to stay as far away from it as you can.
See what happens.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
Now let's put you back in jail.
Yeah.
Back in this cage, yeah.
Lock it up tight. Lock it up tight. Just make an anonymous phone call to the state police.
You can make that call now, and just before we leave, we can get you back in your cell so you don't have to sit there for the entire time.
So either whoever stole our shit is someone who looked like they knew what they were going for because they didn't take our guns. They just took our silver and stuff, which means there's other werewolves. This was not a lone werewolf. there's a pack and we've only dealt with one, or two, there's a hunter or some other sort of supernatural thing around here that knows what we are, or three, we're being followed.
Eric, I'm going to need a tech use roll out of you. There is some footage, and you just barely catch it out of the corner of one of the frames. There's a camera that leaves town, and you see a car driving. You're not 100% sure, but you think you see smoke inside the vehicle. Thick, black, billowy demon smoke.
We got stolen by a demon.
The same demons who are probably mad at us that we still haven't reconciled from other stuff.
Maybe it has something to do with that dude you got in a storage locker somewhere.
They started it. They're going to pay for that.
At least he is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that's where we're going next.
And Eric all of a sudden drops everything and says, I gotta go. I gotta meet up with my mom. She's having some problems out in Idaho.
Yeah, okay. I mean, right now his priority is to bury his son.
You can take the remains if you want. They're not going to remand custody of the remains to you legally. The boy's mother has custody.
So if give her a call.
Phone rings and she picks up. What are you doing calling this number after what you did to my son?
Yeah, I want to bring him back.
Well, you can't bring him back. You fucking killed him. How could you do that? I knew I shouldn't have let him go with you. Why did you take him like that?
I want to bring back our boy, bury him. I don't care how much it costs. I'll take care of it. Just have the funeral. You let me do that for him.
You gotta pay for everything. Everything.
Whatever. That's fine.
And I can't work anymore. How do you expect me to go to work with what you did? I can't even get out of bed. They're gonna take the house. Joe, they're gonna take the house. I can't work anymore.
One thing at a time. Let's give you the number here. You can talk to the other corner and just have them discuss it. Make sure he gets home.
I want to see a picture of that check before I do anything.
What check?
Check for the funeral.
Jesus Christ.
I want to take care of it. We have to make arrangements. I don't know how much it's going to cost yet. We'll cross the bridge when we get there. Will you call the coroner?
Fine. Call the coroner.
I'm going to text you the number.
She hangs up on you.
And I do. All right. Text her the number.
Okay. She does call the coroner, and they make arrangements to have the body moved back to where she lives.
All right. Philly. Philadelphia. So. All right. And I make arrangements to go back to Philly.
Okay. Gerald, before your phone rings, I'm going to skip to my favorite part of the session, which is the opening cinematic. And it is my favorite part of the session because I don't have to interact with any of my characters.
It's my favorite part of the session, too.
Mitchell Cartwright had been casing the place for almost a week. Rico Shoeshine had made it very clear by the broken pinky on his left hand that missing another payment was not something he wanted to do, and payday was coming up fast. A bunch of rich trust fund babies wouldn't miss a few things from their fancy house anyways. He waited for the one nighttime sentry guard to turn the corner and make his way to the gatehouse before quickly hopping the fence and making a dash to the main residence. After checking a few windows on the first floor, he found one that was unlocked and let himself inside. Jackpot. Even the hallway had enough things worth taking to get himself back on track. He took a small and very expensive-looking silver candelabra off of a fancy-looking hallway desk and put it into a duffel bag he had brought along. Mitch heard some noises a few rooms away coming in his direction. Shit, he muttered, as he looked for an escape route. The window was too far. Plus, he wasn't done yet, so he opened a door in the center of the hallway and quietly made his way down a flight of long, dark stairs. As he made his way down the stairs, he could hear the noises above get fainter and fainter. The stairs just seemed to keep going. His legs were tired by the time he finally got to the bottom, and then he saw them. Easily 100 different full-sized and beautifully carved statues of very realistic-looking naked men and women. He thought he remembered something about this place being famous for its antique stonework. It was too bad they were too big to steal. Just one of these would have fixed his problems for good. Still, there had to be plenty of other things good down here, so Mitchell kept looking. After about 5 minutes of wandering around, Mitchell's hopes rose when he saw a large iron gate. He only kept really good stuff locked up, and then he saw her, one of the most beautiful, athletic women Mitch had ever seen. She was tall and had golden blonde hair going all the way down her back. She seemed surprised to see him, but not disappointed. Before Mitchell could think of an excuse as to why he was down here, she spoke in a very silken voice. "Oh, thank goodness you're here. I came down to fetch some things, and I'm afraid I've locked the gate behind myself. Could you help me out of here? There's a spare key on the wall at the end of the room." She was making no effort to hide anything that her very low-cut shirt was revealing. Mitchell looked over and saw the keys she was talking about. "Sure," he muttered, a little tongue-tied. After only dropping the set of keys once on the way, he made his way over and unlocked the door for the pretty woman. Once the door was open, she drew very close to him. He didn't know what to do, so he stood there, paralyzed. My hero, she said playfully. You know, I really ought to thank you for saving me. She let the sentence hang in the air. Mitchell. Most folks call me Mitch. She put her arms around his neck. Well, Mitchell, you'll never know how much I appreciate what you've just done. They call me Sathino. I've never heard that name before. What is... She silenced him by putting her finger over his lips. None of that really matters, right? I think it's time for my big, strong hero to get the reward he has coming for him, don't you? He looked into her eyes but said nothing, and then she put both of her hands on his head and pulled him in for a deep and passionate kiss that he was too stunned to return. I've been wanting to do this for a good long time, Mitch. You have no idea how badly I've wanted it. Tell me you want it too. Tell me you want it, Mitchell. Of course I do. Yeah. He stammered. She leaned very close to his ear. Whatever you do, don't close your eyes. And then took a few steps back. She put her hands on her shoulders and started to pull down her gown, stopping right above her chest. Are you watching? He could only nod. She smiled wickedly and revealed several pointed teeth that stood out much longer than the others, almost like fangs. And then he watched her hair shimmer like it was made of different moving waves. The closer he looked, the more he was reminded of something. He couldn't quite place it. It wasn't until he saw a forked tongue dart out from one of the writhing masses that he realized her hair had transformed itself into snakes. She continued to smile at him, as he started to feel strange, stiff, and slow, like he couldn't move his arms and legs. The last thing Mitchell remembered before everything went dark was a soft laugh from her and the hissing of snakes. Sathino stood next to the stone statue of Mitchell and patted him on the shoulder. Thank you so much. This is going to be fun. The snakes turned back into a full head of luscious hair, and the curvaceous blonde woman made her way up the stairs and out of the estate. Gerald, your phone rings.
How do you activate these damn phones? There we go. Hello.
Yeah, is this Gerald?
Speaking.
Gerald, look, this is Fish, but you don't know me, but you know Mickey, and you do know Mickey.
I know Mickey. Mickey owes me $50.
You also owe Mickey a favor, which you hate. Mickey worked a job with you way back when, with a shifter, and it was one of those situations where you ended the hunt with, if you ever need a favor, you know who to call. So, yeah, I need to call in that favor for Mickey. I got a friend in St. Augustine, Florida that went missing. Me and his wife, we used to be a thing before she settled down with him. She called me in a panic, but I'm in Oregon tracking a rape. So I called Mickey to call in my favor, and he says to call you because you owe him a favor. So could you check that out for me? For him?
12 years ago. I can't believe he remembers that. All right.
Dude's name is Mitchell Cartwright. His wife is Eileen. They live in, and he can text you an address.
Okay, I write some of this down.
I mean, it might be nothing, but I mean, she's really broken up about it, and we used to kind of, He does. You hear the sound effect over the phone, and you kind of know what he's doing. Yeah, I'd appreciate it if you do that for me. Thanks.
Sure.
I'll tell Mitchell that you guys are even.
Mickey, sure. I'll tell Mitchell if we're even. All right, click. Florida. I was going to say that if this happened shortly after, right after we're finishing the last job, I get the call, then she might just literally be nearby leaving.
I am literally packing my shit up.
She owes me a window.
I do owe him a window.
So yeah, she's still around. She ain't skating away. She has a motorcycle. I don't know, maybe I sabotage it and I'll fix it once she fixes my window. Well, you're coming with me. You're packing stuff up, probably. We're going to deal with this first. Eric had to take off. I guess he took a bus or something. I just got a call. Friend of a friend. There's a job that I need to go look into down in Florida. Could be just a missing person. Could be nothing. That's quite often the case in our line of work. But if you're determined to keep doing this, I'd rather not go in without anyone watching my back. I've gotten used to working with Eric. So if you want, you could tag along and maybe I could show you a few things.
Oh, really? You'll let me?
Already changing my mind. Okay, we're stuck in the window. I'm not driving all the way to Florida with a garbage bag.
Your window's busted. It's a combination of bribery and a little bit of extortion to get moved to the head of the line. You're at the mechanic's office, and he's telling you easily it's going to be a week. And you're like, man.
And then I start crying.
She starts crying. You start going through the other dude's car while she's making a scene, and you find evidence that he's having an affair.
Wow, that was amazing. Did you roll a con game for me?
No, this is just flavor text. Like you.
All right.
This is a normal normal dude who runs a mechanic shop, and you're that good.
And you know what else? I'm that good. And after he's already sputtering because he can't figure out how I figured out he's having an affair and she's crying, and he's like, oh, you're right. You know what? Actually, I think I got one there. Blah, blah, blah. I'll be half a day. I go, thanks. And I pull out my fake badge and I put it back before he can even get a good look at it. And I walk to go get a smoothie or something. And by smoothie, I mean whiskey.
A smooth whiskey.
Yep. Get my window fixed. Go to St. Augustine. Start driving to Florida. Since it's going to be a long drive, because where the hell are we? If we drive straight, it's like 18 out now from Pennsylvania. It's probably 20 hours down to Florida.
It's not like you'd let me drive.
She has not been vetted. I'm not comfortable sleeping with her driving down the interstate. We'll do 12 hours with me driving because I'm used to that.
Okay.
And then we'll pull over, get some food, and nap in the car.
I'm perfectly okay with being chauffeured, but there's going to be at some point where the phone comes out and the music gets turned on again.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
God, no, not again.
The phone comes out and the music begins.
What's playing?
Megan?
How about some Bieber?
Oh,
Man.
Are you playing Baby, Baby, Baby?
No, some of the newer stuff.
how long do we drive before you turn that on?
Maybe an hour, maybe.
Yeah, Gerald doesn't say anything until the music comes on. Our last job really hit home with the werewolves and everything, so he's not really feeling like jamming still. So probably no, it was silent, and then Bieber happened.
And then Bieber happened.
Bieber plays, I'm going to say, for about 30 seconds before Gerald goes, so I've been meaning to ask you, despite an hour of silence. Hoping this turns the phone off.
Oh, no. Nope.
What,
I've been meaning to ask what?
are you sure that
Sorry, continue.
I just drive into traffic?
So, Joe, your phone rings.
Are you sure this is what you want to be doing?
Yep.
This is a very dangerous, lonely, and for most people, short-lived life. I don't know.
Yep.
Well, might I recommend something I've noticed my colleague Eric doing? Invest in some earbuds. You don't want any vampires or werewolves to know that you're coming because there's a screeching preteen in your hand.
He's of age.
How?
You're old. That's how.
I just turned the radio on. Now neither of us can enjoy our music.
Does this slowly degenerate into dueling volumes?
Oh, it slowly degenerates.
I would think it would accelerate quickly.
All right, so it degenerates quickly. The music is untenable for both of you. Continue.
The faster I get to Florida, the better.
Okay, Megan, Gerald is driving far faster than an old person should be, and making turns that you're not very comfortable with.
He was going the speed limit, which was like, but, now we're actually, driving at a reasonable speed.
I reach under my dash and I pull out a state police badge for when I inevitably get pulled over.
So you make it 12 hours. I'm guessing you hole somewhere up for the evening. Megan, Gerald doesn't want to let you have a turn at the wheel, even though it's going to cost you an extra day. How do you feel about that?
So long as he doesn't try to be creepy old man, I guess it's all right.
I pull over after 12 hours into a rest stop. And I tell her back seat.
Well, Gerald just got forward all of a sudden.
Excuse you?